Have you gone to a store or market and saw meat, seafood, or other fresh foods and thought, can I add this into my pet's raw meal? I get a lot of messages from new raw feeders asking if they can feed something that they found at the store. And unfortunately, many of these items should be avoided. Let's go over some. Caviar. Caviar is essentially fish eggs that have been cured with salt. This is a delicacy to many cultures. However, since it's salted, this is a no-go for pets. The good news is, fish roe, or eggs, are still a great addition to a raw meal to add in omega-3s and vitamin D. When looking for fish roe, make sure that it's not labeled as caviar and doesn't contain added salt, sugar, soy sauce, sorbitol, or rice wine, which can usually be the case if it's sold for sushi. Tripe. You may have heard about all of the benefits tripe can offer to your pet and that it's a great inclusion to a raw diet. So why is this on the list? What makes tripe such a great addition to the raw diet is all of the fermented vegetation within the textured lining. Green tripe has the ideal 1-to-1 ratio of calcium to phosphorus and is also high in manganese. However, by law, tripe sold in grocery stores has to be cleaned out and bleached. Once it's gone through this process, little nutrients remain. Wild-caught salmon from the Pacific Northwest. When it comes to the western side of the US and Canada, you will most likely see salmon caught from the Pacific Ocean at your local seafood shops or grocery stores. But be wary. Fish from these waters can often be carrying the parasite Nanophytus salmonella. And when this parasite is infected by an organism called Neorickettsia helminthica, this becomes the perfect storm for salmon poisoning disease in pets. For humans, this isn't an issue because cooking has been proven to eliminate this risk. However, freezing has not. So if you want to feed raw oily fish, search for Atlantic, Norwegian, or farmed salmon, or feed a whole other fish entirely. Intestines. These are often found at Asian markets and are usually from pig, cow, or lamb. When sold for human consumption, they're cleaned out and bleached so they don't pose any health risks to the humans eating it. Intestines are unfortunately low in beneficial nutrients in general anyway, but after the cleaning process, they become even less nutritionally valuable. While these are still safe to feed, assuming that they were sold for human consumption, they're really only useful as a dehydrated treat if you have a dehydrator. Canned seafood in oil, sauce, or salt. If you want to feed oily fish but would rather feed it cooked or just canned for convenience, you want to make sure of a few things. First of all, you want to make sure that it's not too high in sodium, as a lot of canned seafood will be. Ideally, the sodium content shouldn't go above 25 milligrams per ounce or 28 grams of that food's weight. Secondly, make sure that the fish or oysters aren't canned in sauce, oil, or a saltwater brine. Ideally, they will just be canned in water. There's a lot more to learn when it comes to feeding oily fish. Watch this video to learn how to feed them safely.